The crucial meeting was convened in response to the renewed attacks in parts of the country by insurgents, bandits, and other criminal elements undermining national security. President Muhammadu Buhari, who summoned the meeting, is seriously worried over the deteriorating security situation and is determined to do everything within his power towards finding lasting solutions. At the meeting were Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, Chief of Staff to the President, Secretary to the Governor of the Federation, Ministers of Defense, Interior and Police Affairs, as well as the National Security Advisor. Others include the service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Directors General, Department of State Services, and the National Intelligence Agency, as well as Chief of Defense Intelligence. Participants extensively debated the worrisome security situation, challenges associated with containment efforts, and what needs to be done urgently to restore peace, law, and order across Nigeria. No official statement was released so far as the meeting reconvenes on Tuesday next week. NTA News will keep you posted on the outcome of the meeting when concluded. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled families of citizens who lost their loved ones in the recent spate of killings in Benue State. Here's a report.
In a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President notes with disappointment and sadness to hear Samuel Ortom, the Governor of Benue State, makes a litany of accusations against his person and his government, following the recent unfortunate incidents in the state, adding that no responsible government takes pleasure in the killing of its military and that of innocent citizens, taking refuge in an internally displaced people's camp. President Buhari says he is deeply pained by the terrible acts of violence happening not only in Benue State, but also in other parts of the country, and expects that the law enforcement agencies will go to every possible extent to fish out the perpetrators of these heinous acts and bring them to justice. He notes that lives of citizens should not be desecrated by deploying them in political diatribe, which unfortunately appeared to be the intent of the string of emotional attacks and blame laid at the doors of the president by Governor Ortom following the killings. President Buhari took an oath to defend the life and property of every citizen, a duty he takes seriously and is committed to upholding. Those citizens, regardless of their affiliations, who either incite, sponsor, or are proven to be arbiters of these atrocities will face the law and much more will be answerable for their crimes against citizens and nation. President Buhari continuously stresses that the strength of our country lies in our diversity in faith, culture, and traditions, and attempts to sharpen the divide between northern and southern Nigeria, Muslim and Christians, and between communities that have coexisted for centuries should be frowned upon and resisted. As Nigerians, we accuse colonial rulers of the policy of divide and rule. Today, it is our own leaders who put region against region, religion against religion, ethnic group against ethnic group, and community against community. The future of Benue State, and indeed that of the entire country, lies in harmony and respect for law and the Constitution, which are only sure way to achieve progress and development. The statement also said, while the president will continue to keep security, police, and the armed forces on their toes, appealed to everyone to work together on the foundation of progress to achieve prosperity. It further said Benue State under the Ortom administration ought to cooperate with the federal government in the implementation of a number of national strategies and programs in addressing underlying issues militating against peace, progress, and development, adding that this can still get done when the interest of the people is placed above all other interests, as governments voted into office by the people should treat the people as its masters and not as servants.
Senate Committee on Army has resolved to meet with the Minister of Finance and Service Chiefs on Tuesday next week over releases of funds to security agencies. particularly the Nigerian Army. This was during the committee's interaction with the representative of the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. John Yaku has details.
The central issue for the interaction was to receive goods from the Ministry on release of funds to the Nigerian Army amidst rising insecurity in the country. The bone of contention, however, is the summary of budgetary releases to Operation Lafia Dole and Operation Hadarin Daji, which showed that it was 100% from 2019 to 2020.
2019, 75 billion was appropriated. The same was released 100%. If you look at the second line there was even a supplementation from the service-wide vote, apart from the appropriation, which was released 100%. We have released 19.7 for the first quarter. Just yesterday, we have released 19.9.
However, a letter from the Army to the committee, on the other hand, shows that there was a shortfall of 50 billion naira.
If you say you have made a release of 100%, here is a letter indicating that from the time of the introduction of Operation Lafia Dole, they have a shortfall outstanding of 50 billion. So if you are paying them 100%, how come do they have a shortage of 50 billion?
This, the committee believes, is capable of hampering the operations of the Army in tackling the rising insecurity in the country. The committee therefore resolved that the issue cannot be settled in the absence of the minister and service chiefs, as they were invited to appear before the committee on the same day. It also resolved that the minister should appear with details of release of funds to who, dates, and for what purpose such releases were made from 2019 to date. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has congratulated Nigerian workers as they join the rest of the world in commemorating the International Workers' Day. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awuniyi, Senator Lawan noted the significance of May 1st, which has been set aside every year to celebrate workers as the creators of wealth and to reflect on how to improve their work environment and welfare. Senator Lawan reiterated that the National Assembly believes in the well-being and welfare of the workers and will continue to always provide legislative support for every effort to address their challenges. He urged the organized labor to always look at the larger picture and consider higher national interest in their responses to government policies and actions. Still on workers' activities, improving safety of workers, their families, and public institutions in the face of rising insecurity were issues of concern at the National Peace Summit organized by the Nigeria Labour Congress to commemorate 2021 Workers' Day. Emmanuel Aimero reports that there were concerted efforts to interrogate all indices responsible for the siege of insecurity.
International Labour Organization's Recommendation 202 provides for national social protection covering for the unprotected, the poor, and the most vulnerable, including workers in the informal economy and their families. So also is Recommendation 205, which provides an instrument that addresses the world of work issues in crisis situations. For the NLC, these two recommendations are key in addressing insecurity affecting the working class, while other speakers called for genuine dialogue that will guarantee peaceful coexistence.
Our armed forces are capable of bringing this insurgency to an end if they are better armed, equipped, and modern technology and adequate motivation is deployed.
Nigeria, since 1999, is being run as a unitary government.
I'm advising my people, please, if you have been sleeping 5 hours in a night, cut it down to 2 or 3 hours. Let us try to mask this unknown government.
For the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Nigerian kind of solutions must be applied in addressing the crisis.
We must answer the clarion call to come together as a people and defeat this common enemy of the country that is assuming a frightening dimension. Injury to one, injury to all.
At the end of the deliberations, the summit is expected to produce a coherent peace-building agenda that will complement government initiatives on national security. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Pensioners in Nigeria will begin to smile again following the conclusion of plans to effect President Muhammadu Buhari's directive for the implementation of consequential adjustment on pension benefits. Executive Secretary of the Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, says the President's decision follows the implementation of a new minimum wage in 2019 and encouraged pensioners to be wary of fraudsters.
The consequential adjustment of the new pension payment will start from the May 2021 payroll. The arrears will take effect from April 2019, and PTAD will also commence payment of the arrears from May 2021. It will be recalled that on the 22nd of April 2021, I issued a press release to inform the general public of the sincerity of Mr. President to implement the consequential adjustment on the pension benefits. I made it emphatically clear that the Nigerian Union of Pensioners has no reason to go on any protest because the matter was at the conclusive stage.
We'll take a break now. More reports after this timeout. Thank you for staying with us on the news desk at 6. Now, Nigeria is prioritizing innovation and technology investments in agriculture so as to transform the sector by attracting young people and also scale up productivity. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this in his remarks delivered virtually at the 2021 high-level dialogue on feeding Africa. State House correspondent Gideon
deployed over 34,000 graduates, young graduates, all over the country.
Highlighting the programs of the federal government, implementation of the initiative is already yielding impressive results.
Part of the plan also is the establishment of about 142 privately owned agro-processing service centers, which will also be established to address post-harvest losses, path to market and supply chain challenges, and train about 100,000 new extension agents.
That the future must involve making agriculture attractive to young people. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The federal government is committed to capturing every part of the country in its quest to migrate from analog to digital transmission, as well as the stimulation of local content. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, reiterated this at the launch of the Lagos Digital Switchover.
This may look like a daunting task, Indeed, it is. But the fact that we are here in Lagos today is a testimony to our resilience and determination to ensure the success of the transition from analog to digital television across the country.
Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Armstrong Idachaba, and that of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, commended the present administration for its dogged determination to the digital switchover projects.
But let us remember that we are not yet there. We have, however, shown the capacity. We have, however, shown that we have the capacity to go all the way. And going all the way requires synergy.
Now to some cherry news from Ondo State, where students of public secondary schools in the state have received refund of their WAEC fees from the state government. And this has been taken over as responsibility, that is towards the bill the students have incurred. Now, beneficiaries and their parents are saying thank you, that the government's gesture is a great financial relief. Doris Olumoko reports.
Following the approval formed by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for the payment of WAEC enrollment fees for all SS3 students in public secondary schools in Ondo State, principals and heads of schools were directed to immediately refund fees already paid by parents. NTA News learned many of the school principals have complied.
I have not received any contrary reports as to the level of compliance with the refund of the registration fees for WAEC to parents. Most of our field officers have reported that the schools have complied and they have paid back the parents.
Parents and students expressed appreciation to the government for the gesture.
When we received the message from the governor, we are very happy.
I want to appreciate the government for what they have been doing because it's a good thing.
The government says the payment of WAEC fees is part of efforts to cushion the effect of the present economic realities. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
Fervent prayers as well as a multi-stakeholder approach has been proffered towards addressing the security challenge in many parts of the country. This was stressed during the third Jumat prayers of this year's Ramadan at the Apol Legislative Quarters Mosque, organized by the Islamic Research and Dawah Foundation in Abuja. Abdusalam Jibril reports.
Lately, insecurity is no doubt the biggest challenge that is affecting many Nigerians, irrespective of ethnicity and religious affiliation. To this end, the Chief Imam of Apol Legislative Quarters Juma Mosque, Sheikh Muhammad Nur Khalid, during his Friday prayer sermon, called on government to immediately beef up Nigeria's security architecture.
What we have to do is to call on the attention of the people first, to be patient, to persevere, and to accept this as a trial from the Almighty. And secondly, to call on the government to wake up to their constitutional obligations. And thirdly, to pray for the intervention of the Almighty. And this is what we did.
Other worshippers called for sustained prayers, intelligence gathering, and vigilance towards stemming the tide of insecurity in the country.
You are giving all the necessary support by the federal government to perform, and you didn't perform. The government has to ask what happened. And if you don't have proper explanation as to what happened, like the man has said, you should leave.
Everybody have to go back to God. Prayer is the best solution.
The Islamic Research and Dawah Foundation is a non-governmental organization with the aim of promoting peaceful coexistence, interfaith dialogue, and religious tolerance in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdul Salam Jibril, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority Star Times is rewarding loyalty and patronage as it reaches out to customers with different packages in the spirit of Ramadan. Abdul Rahman Usman Jibrila reports that beneficiaries were randomly selected from customers' premises.
Priestley Osiosefe, a cleric, and Usman Aliu, a trader, are both StarTimes subscribers in the FCT for many years. Their loyalty and patronage were instantly rewarded as StarTimes keys into the spirit of Ramadan fast. Our beneficiaries, just like Priestley and Usman, are excited that the unexpected gesture will motivate and enhance patronage of StarTimes.
I've turned a marketer because like two of my person very close to me, they use StarTime. They
using the StarTime because StarTime is actually good and the service is very okay.
We really, and everybody in the house there, we enjoyed it. Even there was a time we wanted to change it. No, StarTime is the best.
The humanitarian intervention StarTimes says is to assist subscribers observing the Ramadan fast and cushion economic hardship.
Accessibility, StarTimes stands out. We are known for constantly improving our content platform so that every subscriber can enjoy, because a lot of variety is the spice of life. Everybody has a particular content that they enjoy, and StarTimes keeps on increasing its content.
Satisfied Priestley and others seem not only to be getting value for their patronage of StarTimes, but also reward for their choice. In Abuja, Abraman Swanjibrila, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our top stories. President Buhari convenes extraordinary meeting on national security in Abuja.
Nigerian Union of Pensioners has no reason to go on any protest because the matter was at the conclusive stage.
Pensioners to smile soon as implementation of consequential adjustment on pension benefits reaches conclusion.
To call on the attention of the people first, to be patient, to persevere, and to accept this as a trial from the Almighty.
Special Juma prayers offered for the country and security. That concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We thank you for your time to join the NTA in the stand against rape and rapists. My name is Blessing Abu. Good evening.
Moriaba Bikaya Ramadan. Moriaba Bikaya Ramadan. Aki Nikiki Ola. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Aki kwa mojuba oṣù Ramadan. Bí àwẹ̀ ti wọlé dé wẹ́rẹ́, iléeṣẹ́ NTA Abẹ́òkúta ké sí ẹ̀yin oníní dúdùn ọlọ́rẹ láti wá ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ àwọn ètò oníranran eléyìí tí iléeṣẹ́ NTA Abẹ́òkúta ti pèsè sílẹ̀ fún yín láti jẹ àǹfààní oore tó pọ̀ tó sodo sínú àwẹ̀ Ramadan. Àwọn ètò wa bíi ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí, ọba ẹlẹ́san, tafsir al-Quran, Ramadan Kareem, sí ìrun kí Allah ṣọ́wa jálẹ̀ àwẹ̀. Láti ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ tàbí àlàyé ní kíkún, ẹ pè 08028292330 tàbí 08028766190. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀, Ramadan Kareem.
The Lord told me to speak with you or share with you is this.
With God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible.
Join us every Saturday on NTA Abeokuta Star Times, channel 103, and our social media platforms for a spiritual refreshing with Christ Faith Tabernacle International Cathedral, Ebenezer Building, 186 Powys Street, Woolwich, London, SE 186NL. On our program, Voice of Hope, with presiding Bishop Alfred T.B. Williams, with a rebroadcast Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help in this week from his sanctuary. May he grant you support this week from Zion.
Make it a date with us for spiritual uplifts on Christ Faith Tabernacle, Voice of Hope, Saturdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. on NTA Abeokuta Star Times, channel 103, and our social media handles.
Jesus is Lord.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and or write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that a complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Do you want to be saved? Do you want breakthroughs in all life endeavors? Then join Pastor W.F. Kumoyi, the superintendent of Deeper Life Bible Church worldwide, on The Truth every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA Abeokuta channel 12. You can also watch us on Star Times channel 103 or on our social media handles. The Truth. It promises salvation, life-changing prophetic utterances, and liberation from bondage. Make it a date every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. for life-changing experience with Pastor W.F. Kumoyi on The Truth on NTA Abeokuta channel.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Dennis Adigunloye. Since the 8th National Assembly, it has become a permanent fixture in the discourse of legislators, and one cannot be surprised given its persistent and malignant presence in the daily lives of Nigerians. Of course, we are referring to the issue of insecurity. And once again, senators of the 9th National Assembly devoted the best part of Tuesday's plenary to matters of security.
The state of Nigeria's security situation resonated on the floor of the Senate for the umpteenth time. In the last 4 months, motions on security challenging all the geopolitical zones have flooded the legislative chamber, 4 on Niger State alone. This time, the motion by the senator representing Niger East, Sani Musa, shut down all items scheduled for consideration on the order paper. It called for immediate deployment of troops and relief materials from the federal government to the affected areas.
Villages and communities in Shiroro, Rafi, and Munya local government areas of Niger State, and has subjected the affected areas under serious survival threats.
In Niger North, Mariga local government is also in constant attack. We need to start now, because nobody can ever escape it.
We are where we must now bring out all our arsenals.
Some senators recommended massive recruitment into security agencies and engagement of foreign assistance in arresting the situation.
Colombia, Israel, they've gone through this road and they overcame them. So we should not be ashamed to seek support and assistance of such countries to help us. It costs us nothing to get foreign support.
We need to strengthen
the manpower requirement of our security agencies.
To have audience with the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Security Advisor, and the Minister of Defense on the regional implications of the developments in Sham.
We need to have supplementary budget to fund not only the recruitment of additional personnel, but also procurement of weapons and platforms.
Let's get the thoughts now from some Nigerians on the current state of affairs and what they believe may be the solutions to the security challenges.
You know that Nigeria has been going through terrible insecurity challenges of security, as it were. And it got to a point where Nigerians felt that the service chiefs had overstayed their welcome. Maybe if we inject new blood into the system, things will get better. That was the understanding. And it is on those sentiments that the new IGP and other service chiefs have been swept into office. Okay, so everybody's basic expectation is that things should change for the better. Because if nothing changes, now, people will say that, well, maybe the old ones will say, well, okay, we're not the problem. It wasn't us. The issue was beyond us or something. And so, since I always say that I quote the Constitution, it's not my saying. Section 12, subsection 2B of the Constitution says that the security and welfare of the people is the basic reason why government exists. And so, and when we're talking about security, it rests on the shoulders of the security chiefs. They are the ones who advise the president. They are the ones who ensure that everything goes smoothly. So if things don't go smoothly, they'll be held responsible. And so the basic expectation of people like me, and I'm sure the generality of Nigerian public, is that the new IGP should fashion out ways that will ensure that the security situation in the country is better than what we have now. Because come to think of it, things are really bad. If I say things are bad, I'm putting it mildly. I don't have stronger ways to put it. So that is why if you come to the National Assembly, whether the House of Representatives or the Senate where I belong, every week there is at least one motion. In some instances, several motions bordering on insecurity in the country, in one part of the country or the other. And so, as representatives of the people, we always reflect that in what we do on the floor of the House. So far, there is no change. If anything, things are getting worse. And so I implore the new Inspector General of Police, together with his colleagues in the other security agencies, to map out strategies. Hold a security summit amongst themselves, maybe, and come up with strategies. You see, when members of the public are not involved in security, there's not much you can do. But as things are, members of the public may not be forthcoming with information, because sometimes when you come up with information that will help fight insecurity, your position is compromised and these bandits can come after your life. And so people are not even keen to volunteer information. And you know, without volunteering information, the police or security agencies will be in a difficult position because these bandits are not spirits. They operate in communities. And if the communities give them up, the security agencies will have little difficulty. But when there's no trust, and when it seems that some of the information that are given compromise the owners or the givers of such information, you know, that can create distrust between the security agencies and the members of the general public. So that is what I see happening here. So they will have to build the trust. The Inspector General will have to fashion out ways to build the trust between the police and members of the community, members of the public. So same for the other security agencies, because as it is now, that is the problem that we have. A while back, there was a motion on the insecurity amongst on campuses, and we never knew that things would get worse. Just the other day, last week, 3 students from Benue, my home state of Benue, University of Agriculture, were abducted. You can say that for other places. The case in Kaduna is another one example, and many other places that we've been talking about. So it means that we now have to target, since these people, some of them appear to be against Western education. It appears to be their philosophy that we are against Western education. It means that we have to come up with ways to protect our kids in institutions of learning, not just in high institutions. Now they have gone to high institutions. Before, it used to be secondary school. They were abducting students here. So we really have to find ways to protect, these institutions, so that these bandits will be put at bay. Because it's a sad day for our country when you hear that students who have done nothing wrong other than to try to find some education, decent education, so that they will be of value to themselves and the society, have been abducted. Some are killed. Those from Kaduna, several of them were killed. So it's really a sad day. So I think that is the challenge again. Just like I said in your last question, that is another challenge for the new Inspector General of Police and the other service chiefs to ensure, because even though primarily it is not the duty of the army for internal security, theirs to protect us against external aggression. But the situation that we have found ourselves, it looks like the internal insecurity is far more worse than any external aggression that we are facing presently. So they have to look inwards now to ensure that they protect us. And one of the ways is to ensure, since these people are targeting institutions of learning, to ensure fashionable ways that will protect our kids who are learning now. Already Nigeria has a record in Africa, at least, with the highest number of kids who are not going to school. Over 10 million, about 12. We are number 1 when it comes to the number. And so now with what is happening now, it means that most students will be scared of going to school. And you can only imagine what that means, pertains for our future. It's really a sad situation.
As you'll observe, this has not started today. It started so many years back. And, it's been growing. And for me, the reason why I believe it might be growing is because there is lack of communication, of proper communication between the citizens of this country and the governance. The governors at all levels, federal, state, and local governments. The state governments, particularly, who are the chief security officers of their states, ought to have communicated effectively